hub. They have one place where you can go and find out everything. Across the street from there, you can get all your tickets, and then from there, they have shuttles to take you to the theater, so you don't have to worry about parking or even traveling to the different theaters.
Because everything isn't right there at the hub sometimes.
Right. So, and then the other things that they have with the playwriting, they have a lot of readers theater. They have workshops for actors. So trying to duplicate something where you have an organ, and there's one organization that sponsors that.
The school is the school.
No,
right?
no, it's Lord. It'll come back to me. But when you have one organization that can funnel everyone's energies, as opposed to many other festivals, you put a committee together and.
What's up, guys? It's Shepsworth Bentley, and you are tuning in right now, live to Homegrown Radio, every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com. Wow, that was a nice little introduction. I wonder who that was. Anyway, how y'all doing, everybody? We are back here on Homegrown Radio, here on BeExposedRadio.com. If you can't check us out on if you're not checking us out on the website, you can check us out on Facebook on Be Exposed Radio's page, or you can do it on their YouTube page as well. This is Ladies Night Part 2. Right now we have Confetti the First in the building and Miss Tatiana from Real Lady Shit. How y'all doing, ladies?
Doing great. How about you, man?
I'm good. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming back. We should be waiting on Shawna and Lorraine. Lorraine, unfortunately, isn't going to be here tonight. She had a nice little awards thing to go to, but she sends everybody her regards, and, you know, we're going to do a good job for her. So anyway, we're going to get into it right now. So, yeah, you know, we talked about last night. Everybody, if you were listening, you know, we talked about last night. We were talking about a lot of different issues dealing with, you know, that's important to women. And, you know, I'm going to take a backseat again. And we're going to get into it a little later. But, ladies, tell me what you guys been doing. Confetti, I know you had a event going on in D.C., right? Yes. Birthday, right? Happy belated, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that was a cool one for a company called Buds and Bass.
Buds and Bass, nice.
Yes. So, in D.C., I guess recreational marijuana is legal. Yeah. Right. Let's all be excited about that. And with that, it's really becoming quite an industry. Yeah. So, this event fuses cannabis culture with EDM culture. So there are DJs there, but it's not really music centric. It's just kind of there in the background. They have a bunch of different vendors there, and it was a really cool experience. I've never been to something like that because I'm from Baltimore County, so you know, everything's very backdoor and shady. But yeah, it was an awesome event. They do it every Tuesday in DC. Follow Buds and Bass on Facebook if you want to know what's going on, and I'm going to be playing for them down the road, but it's going to take a minute.
Awesome. Yes, follow Buds and Bass on Facebook. Yes. Also follow Homegrown Baltimore on Facebook. Follow Confetti the First and Real Lady Shit on Facebook. So I saw on their Facebook they bought out this like big ass cake for you, right?
2 cakes.
2 cakes? 2 of them?
The first one, lit up, man. They asked me at first, like, do you like what kind of cake do you like? I'm like, I like chocolate cake. So right when I walk in, they're cutting up this big old chocolate cake, and then halfway through the night, I see a big vanilla cake come out with, I don't know, fireworks. I mean, it was bigger than sparklers.
Yeah,
it was
I saw them on the sparklers. Yeah.
They were like sparklers on steroids. They were awesome. Yeah. But yeah, they are extremely hospitable, very professional, but still a really, really good time. So definitely can recommend. I had a wonderful birthday because of them.
Awesome. Well, I hope everybody's here. If you're listening, make sure you type in, give Confetti a happy birthday, please.
I'll take it.
Yes. I can't wait till my birthday, but that's not until next year, September. But anyway, yeah, so that's good. I'm glad you had a good birthday.
Thank you.
Me too. You know, and you know, you got to do what you love for your birthday. That's cool. You know?
I mean, there's no other way that I'd want to ring it in, you know?
Absolutely. So yeah, what about you? Tell me about your event that happened. What was it? Was it Wednesday?
Yes, where we went and helped the kids.
Yes.
Well, we didn't really help the kids. We helped them be awesome, because, you know. So me and The Real Celis, go follow him at The Real Celis in all platforms. But we went to the Green Academy to help out this after-school music program called We Believe in Music. Also, go follow them. They are amazing kids. I went to go photograph them, and Celis went to go listen to some music that they wrote and some beats that they made. Yeah. And, like, they were just awesome kids. Like, super fantastic. They had some real advice. Like, I got life advice from these kids.
Wow,
and they're
really?
in high school, and I was like, wow, these kids know more about life than I do, man. So they were amazing.
Nice. Were there any like standout children that like had like the it factor, anything? It could be the next like the next Celis.
So I don't know. They're all of them were like equally fantastic, but we're gonna go see their concert in early December. I believe it's like December 11th that they're having their music concert.
Okay.
So we're gonna go give them some support and shout them out and everything.
Nice. Where is it? Do you remember? Do you know where it is?
I think they're having it at the school, and the school is the Green Academy.
The Green Academy. Okay.
So I believe the concert will be happening there, and I'm hoping I can go and do a little photo shoot beforehand to help out with anything else that they might need. But kids were awesome.
That's
super
awesome.
Dope. So creative.
These young ladies helping the community here and enjoying themselves at the same time. So please make sure you follow them. So yeah, we before we go into it, I wanted to actually shout out my girl Katie real quick. Katie Wooten. She is the owner of Big Mama's Beautiful Lips. We call her Big Mama even though she's like 5. You know Katie, right?
Katie, which Katie?
Katie that used to work with M&S with us. Little Katie.
Little Katie.
Yeah, we're doing an event where she's doing an event that I'm helping her out with called Girls Night In, Bazaar of the Season. Wow. And basically it's just like a get together for women, and they have a lot of different vendors, a lot of different self-care options, things like that. It's going to be at the Foundry Center Luxury Community Center. Yeah, Foundry Center Luxury Community Center. It's going to be 21 Garrison View Road in Owings Mills. It's going to be December 2nd starting at 7. So ladies, please leave your children at home with daddy and make sure you guys go check that out. I'm gonna shout her out real quick. I've known and I know you know this girl. I've known this girl for years. This lady for years. I love her. She is like one of my best friends. So I want you guys to support her as much as I do. So yeah, check it out. So I guess we're gonna go back into it. So last week, we talked about a lot last week, but we didn't really finish too much. We talked about what toxic masculinity. What else did we discuss? We discussed a lot of things.
We did.
Yeah.
We just touched the tip of the iceberg. One thing that came to mind is that there's a lack of, I guess, preventative measures that are available for free, especially in the
Like
Baltimore. I think
therapy, right?
you mentioned,
Yeah.
therapy, self-defense stuff. There's a lot of stuff that really should be taught for free in school, at home, wherever, and not reactively, not when something happens. Well, this is how you take care of yourself afterwards.
Right.
Preventative measures should be made public and should be funded, I think, with tax dollars.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
also on that note, preventive measures that we can take to change like government regulations.
Absolutely.
Like in Maryland specifically, if you end up having your child like by someone who raped you, that man is still able to get joint custody of that child.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, wow,
Like
really?
that is still an issue.
See, I didn't
that
know
is-
that.
Yeah, I like honestly when I was doing research, I found on this place called RAIN that was a federally organized group that is the biggest in the nation for sexual harassment and sexual assault. But yeah, so you can type in your zip code and you can find out all the laws about sexual harassment and sexual assault and but yeah, so I saw that and I was like, wow, this is a huge issue that we need to change immediately.
Yeah, it's true, and it's definitely blowing up a lot, which it should be. It's definitely blowing up a lot in the news today. Of course, there was Harvey Weinstein, and then who's the other guy? Kevin Spacey, and then
Louis C.K.
Louis C.K., the
Louis
comedian.
That broke my heart.
I
and
know.
Made my blood boil.
Everybody loved this guy.
He knows better. That's the thing. Like if you see his stuff in the last 5, 6, 7 years, he knows better because he knows the plagues that are affecting women. He knows that the number one threat to women is men.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
what the fuck was he thinking?
Now, him apologizing, I know it doesn't make it any better, but does it soften the blow? Like, what? I wanted to ask that question. Does it soften the blow for people that either may or just women that may or women in general? Does it soften that blow for you guys? Or?
I don't think it softens the blow. However, I do think that it can help him become part of a movement. So that he did apologize, he did recognize what he did wrong, and he understands all of like the flack that he deserves to get from it, and that he needs to sit back and listen and take a seat. But I do think this gives a moment for other men to say, yeah, I should also apologize to several women in my life. Like, how can, there's so many men that had shock, and they were just like, oh man, not him, like, oh no. And it was like, instead of being like shocked and being, heartbroken or whatever, like, why don't you recognize the issue here? The issue is that these are men that could be your favorite celebrities. Like, that's the bigger picture. And they're not just dudes that like look gross and you're like, oh yeah, he looks gross, so he probably does do all that disgusting stuff. But it's like dudes that you have raved after and been inspiration to you that are doing this kind of activity. And take a moment and maybe reflect upon yourself and say, how can I become involved and help women bring this to their attention, bring other people into this. But and
when he apologized, I know he kind of acknowledged the fact that it was the fact that it was a lot of power that he had, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to I don't want to, it's not a fact of me understanding it, but like, you shouldn't, I think it was he definitely abused that power towards each, and it was young women too. It was like, what, 14, 15 years old,
Something
right?
like that. They're very young,
Which is apparently it's in the entertainment industry, it's way more common than what we think. And it's scary to even think that. Like, I don't want to go see that, you know what I mean? If I'm we're all in that industry. Like, I don't want to see that stuff. That type of stuff makes me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Because I've had friends and family that have been through that, you know. And speaking of music and entertainment, now I do have this one question too. And now, we all listen to all different types of music, it's hip hop, whatever. Now, what about the songs that we've listened to over the years? You know what I mean? Do we stop listening to those? How do we do, like, for example, even Chris Brown. Let's just talk about Chris Brown. God. Like, should I as a man or even as a person stop listening to Chris Brown because of what he did, or stop listening to certain songs because of what they say? Like, what is there a line between it? What should we do?
I've kind of thought about that too, because if you think back to someone like R. Kelly, like, he's very talented, but he's kind of gross, right? He's done some stuff, like, he's kind of nasty, like, it's not cool. It doesn't make his music any better or worse. Just, it is what it is. I guess, we're all in this industry. How do we get support? Well, people listen to us. People buy our music. People buy tickets to our shows. If you're a comedian, they buy a ticket to come see you perform live. So if you don't have that audience, you lose power. In the case of Louis C.K., he understood that he was in a position of power. So even if he asked, hey, can I do this in front of you? These women were not in a position to say no. And in his apology, he recognized that. Like, it didn't matter if they said yes or no. Like, what were they going to do? I was the one in power in that position. So if you can take the power away from that position, then it equalizes both parties, right? And if the power dynamic is equal, then stuff like this isn't going to happen, right? If a lion's going against a lion, that's fair. But if a lion's going against a lamb, it's not quite as fair.
Right.
So it is a tough one, because there are elements of like nostalgia with the music that we listen to, but then you got to look at the actual person that you're supporting, and can you, in good conscience, support that person, what they're doing. We all saw the pictures of Rihanna getting beat up by Chris Brown, and he's not, I mean, people are still supporting him, and we just kind of, we made a joke out of it, like, oh, she's into S&M, and she was just embarrassed to talk about it. Like, no, this woman had the crap beat out of her.
And then he got a tattoo of that on his neck.
Oh my God, really?
That's
disgusting. He got a tattoo of
Yeah, they had this like huge like situation where he got a tattoo of like Rihanna looking beat up. Apparently it's not supposed to like be Rihanna. Yeah, it's like it was like a
But
huge
they're
thing.
Oh, Chris, I can't listen to you anymore, buddy.
He's
having a
just
neck
also,
tattoo.
Yeah.
Period. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, but even him, like, he never, like, he went to what, where you work on your anger management. He went to anger management, but then he kind of came out of it with it's like he got recharged, like, when you saw him afterwards. And then he has his daughter, and it gets very complicated because I personally don't listen to his music because of that whole situation, because I felt like he, did what he was told, but he wasn't actually like taking responsibility for his actions. Like, he was like, all right, if I have to do this so I can like go and keep making money and like keep being powerful, then like fine, whatever. Like
his publicist told him to do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, but you're not being real with anyone here.
Yeah.
And like, we can see through all of your fake PR shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to then him having a daughter and, things get complicated because it's like you are being a great father. So it's kind of like, did you learn from this lesson, or are you only, being a great father because you're seeing a woman in a different light now?
Right.
Like, you see your daughter and you're like, I want her to be the best woman that she can be. But when at that moment when you dealt with Rihanna, you were not treating women the proper way that they were supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, where is his mindset now? I feel like we kind of like forgot about it. His PR swept it under the rug, and it's not being brought up anymore. So yeah.
Now, now I'm gonna go to that too, because a lot of people, I'm not gonna use some men because there's women too, around that time has been saying, well, let's look at all the facts and maybe, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but that Rihanna may be not at fault, but she may have had something to provoke that. Is that an excuse, or is that a reason to kind of like look at both sides, because she may have maybe provoked it or said something or hit him first or things like that? Is that kind of a way to justify it? Like, is that a good reason? Is that a good justification of what happened? Or?
I think you should always look at both sides of the story, just because you really never know. But in this case, with how severely she was beaten, there is no excuse that you should beat a woman that severely.
Yeah,
like, there's no excuse. You're a celebrity. Both, like, you have security.
Yeah.
Like, if there was an issue and you felt like you were reaching that point of anger where you're like, I am like going to beat this woman up as though I'm going to beat up someone who is like
murdered
robbing
my children.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. And then like call your security and be like, get this woman away from me. Like, I cannot be around this woman anymore because, things are getting to a point where it could destroy like get very serious.
Right.
Like, you have those resources right there, like, use them. And so I definitely think, it's great that it was considered, but I don't think it's a reason to beat a woman that severely.
If you look at that video that just came out, I forget the guy's name, but he's a football player, and he punched, I guess, his girlfriend in the face and
Oh,
sewed her
was it Ray
out.
Rice a few years ago, or was it different? Is it a different football player? 'Cause I
No, it was
remember-
Ray Rice.
It was
Is
Ray
that
Rice
who
in
it
the
was? He was
elevator, right?
not in the elevator. I'm talking about one in a restaurant where there was a
Oh, wait.
It
I
adds a
think
different
it was
dynamic
Ezekiel
to it.
Elliott
Maybe that's
from
who
the
it was.
Cowboys.
Maybe.
Because I know he's suspended for something like that.
Oh, I don't
There was
know.
it was happened about 2 years ago, and the video just came out from the surveillance
Ezekiel
tapes
Elliott,
from the restaurant. But basically, what happened, for anybody listening, is there was, I guess it was a lover's quarrel, and this, to add another dynamic to it, this white woman was, I guess they were boyfriend girlfriend or dating or friends or something, and she was slinging racial slurs at him, and she pushed him, and then she slapped him, and then he knocked her in the face, like,
Damn.
and she was out. She has broken bones and stuff like that. When you first see the video, you don't really see anything about it being race related, and that, I hate to bring that too off topic because it becomes a very complicated situation. But from the video alone, I asked, I took this video online. I'm like, was he justified in this? And a lot of men, to my horror, were like, yeah, she made the first punch. I have the right to defend myself. well, look at the power dynamic. She, no matter what she did, at her full power, probably would never be able to break his face, right?
Yeah, not even close.
No.
But him with one punch, she was out. So he wasn't really defending himself because he could have restrained her.
Yeah.
He could have.
Football player, bro. Come
He's
on.
exactly. So to be, and it was terrifying to see people that I know in everyday life to be like, yeah, well, he was just defending himself. Well, no, he wasn't. He was taking out his aggression on her.
Yeah.
And I understand that she was being a piece of crap, slinging racial slurs, which she absolutely shouldn't have. Like, that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. And I feel like she should be held accountable for
Absolutely.
part of that. Like, that's when it's like, you gotta look at, that's when it's important. Like, look at both sides and be like, you can't be, like, racist.
You can't be disgusting like that.
No. Because that doesn't mean you deserve to get, like, knocked out
No.
by a football player, but it also doesn't mean, like, you should be allowed to say that and then be the victim. And that becomes, like, that white privilege victimization.
Oh, yeah.
Like Taylor Swift does
gosh.
a lot, very well.
Ooh, that's
but-
another story.
Oh,
I got a
yeah.
lot to say about that too.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It was a very ugly situation. Or I guess even Ray Rice, I think I remember seeing that video about the elevator. It was
crazy.
it was
That
just
was
like a
crazy.
lover's quarrel gone wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like they were just in some argument, and did she hit him or anything? Did she do anything?
When I saw the video, I don't think she did. I think she may have like pushed him or like maybe mushed him in the face.
Okay.
But I don't think she did anything for him to hit
Yeah.
her that hard. You know what I mean?
And that's, you got to understand any kind of relations between the sexes, between races, between wealthy and poor people. Like, you need to understand power dynamics. Who in that situation physically has the power? She can shove him, and he's probably not going to flinch. He's a football player.
Right.
He's not going down. All he has to do is pretty much look at her, and she's out in a coma.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, that's the power dynamic. So when you abuse the power dynamic, and you justify it by being like, well, she came at me first. No, because you didn't come back with equal force. If you wanted to come back with equal force, you would have just held her back, or you would have shoved her back at equal strength.
Right,
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
That's not at all what happened. So I think a lot of men need to remember that. Like, you because you are generally bigger and stronger, you do have the power physically in that dynamic. So it's not responsible to exploit it. It really, really isn't. Oh, well, she shoved me first. She didn't harm you.
Right.
You don't even have a wrinkle on your shirt because of it. But now she has a broken face, or she's knocked out cold in a coma. And once
Right.
you're in a coma, or even when you're knocked out, that is extremely dangerous.
That was shocking enough for me, man, when I saw that.
Yeah. So, by all means, if someone's coming at you, defend yourself. But that doesn't justify escalating it,
Yeah.
ever. I think that's absurd to be like, well, you know, I was just defending myself. No, you weren't just defending yourself. You found a loophole, you found an excuse to hit a woman, and you did. I'm not cool with that. I don't know how y'all were raised.
No.
I was never raised that was
No.
cool. As a woman myself, I was also taught, don't lay your hands on people. And to this day, I've never been in a physical fight in my life.
Right.
I've just kind of gotten lucky. But at the same time, I could always talk my way out of a situation. And that's all it is. If you can communicate with your mouths versus your fists,
Right.
then you can actually get a lot more accomplished.
Yeah.
Now, with the whole power thing, you know, I have another question kind of like, it's going to segue into that. Now, as far as power and, let's say, the entertainment industry, is it hard for you as women to kind of like get, you know, what you kind of want as far as, you know, your career and what you've been working for? Like, for example, you as a DJ compared to, let's say, me and you are competing for the same show. You know what I mean? Has it been, I don't know, it may not be as hard for you now because, you know, you're definitely a lot more established. But, I mean, how is that, what is that like? Like, tell me about that.
I mean, I've been lucky enough that I haven't been in a position where it's like, yeah, suck my dick and get this booking. But I've heard other female DJs that have been put in that position, so I know it happens. I also know that I'm put in positions where there is microaggression against me as a woman. Like, you know, if I'm ready to go up on the decks and some guy's like, oh, well, this is what you have to do. This is how you can do it. I'm like, honey, I've been doing this twice as long as you. So it's little things like that.
Awesome. Well, not awesome, but I'm
Good
glad to
talk,
hear that.
good
Yeah,
talk.
good talk, good talk, good talk, good talk. I say that. I feel like I say that for everything. But anyway, we're gonna go to a commercial break real quick, and we're gonna come back, and we are gonna find some solutions for you gentlemen out there that have these issues that you need to unlearn, because we all need to do this. But anyway, this is Homegrown Radio, Be Exposed Radio. I am your host, Shepsworth Bentley. We'll be back.
Yay.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council. Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Just a Bit Outside radio show.
There is one glaring stat that I read about while watching the games over the weekend. New York Yankees went 22 straight innings with at least one strikeout.
Really?
That's a major league record for the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting statistic.
It is. You know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing!
even the sky.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Yes. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are back here on Homegrown Radio now, and we have Miss Shawna Devine in the house.
Hey.
How you doing, Shawna?
Hi. I'm good, yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you came. I'm glad you made it,
I
man.
had to put in another, like, yeah.
I love your earrings, your plugs, man. They're
Oh,
really cool.
they're cool. These were made by Yoshi Groovin. Yeah, she made these for me. I wear the mismatch. I have several pair.
They look cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
No, that's awesome. That's really
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hey,
can hear you.
everybody.
I didn't think about it.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? before you go
Resting
back
and
into it?
recuperating.
Yeah, you feel better?
I've been sort of kind of staying in and sipping my brews and herbs and everything. I've been on voice rest, so my voice is sounding much clearer. Have almost all of my range back from my bout, several weeks bout with bronchitis, and yeah, just went through the whole family.
Oh, well, you sound better.
Yeah, it's better. It's way better.
Good. Well, glad you're feeling better. Glad to see you here. We were talking about, I think we were talking before the break, we were talking about entertainment business and women, and how have you, well, let me ask this question. Have you been subjected to any type of, not just harassment, but any type of like misogyny? Yes, the type of misogyny, or even like say for example, if me and you were going for the same spot and I got it. Have you ever gone through any of that as a woman in the entertainment industry?
Well, I've had my ideas stolen.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. Yeah.
I was just talking about that. I hate that.
I've also experienced shenanigans as far as, you know, I'm ostentatious. I am open. I am bold. I am comfortable in my femininity and my sexuality. I am who and what I am. And I'm not just an ass. I'm not just a set of boobs. I mean, yes, I don't wear bras, so whatever. Like, if you haven't seen titties before, then like, fuck up.
Where'd you come from?
So I just don't think that any man has the right to, when you're engaged in business, to constantly make you aware of your assets other than your brain, when you're contributing more than just being a presence in a space and being a physical body. I'm more than a physical body. I'm a superlative entity. I'm a spirit, you know. So I've had problems with being disrespected, even if it wasn't blatant, even if it wasn't intentional. But I mean, come on, dude, grow the fuck up. All women have an ass. All women have a, can I say this on video?
You can say it.
We all have pussies. We all have asses. We all have a set of titties. Like, really, grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
If you're there to do business, we're there to do business. If the woman doesn't initiate that exchange, then shut the fuck up.
Especially in a place
Don't
of
talk
business.
to me the way you wouldn't want to talk to your own fucking mother.
Yeah. Or a man that you'd be doing business with. That's what drives me crazy, is like, in this industry, a lot of the times, you're not seen as something of worth unless you're seen as something of worth in relation to a man.
Yeah.
I was at a show in New York, and I was hanging out with a promoter at an event, and I'm gay, but he asked me, like, he was kind of hitting on me, and I was kind of like blowing it off, and he was like, oh, well, are you gay or are you bi? And I lied. I was like, oh, I'm bi, because in that moment I realized that he wouldn't pay attention to me unless there was a possibility of him getting his dick wet,
engaging
and
in
I didn't.
that manner.
Yeah,
and that is ridiculous.
And he
That is
didn't really hit on me after that, but I understood in that moment. Like, it was a really sad moment. It's like, I have no worth to you unless there's the possibility of it, and it broke my heart.
And the fact that, like, us as women have to kind of analyze that in that moment and in that conversation and say, how do I answer that question to make sure that I can still get what I need to do this productively, but also not, you know, lose this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think that's also a huge issue, that we have to, like, have this extra, like, analyzing situation when we have these conversations with men that are trying to hit on us or trying to persuade us in these certain ways, to be like, look, is this going to make or break my career? And how can I not, you know, how can I respect myself and also, you know, get what I need to get this money, succeed, and keep this opportunity?
Right, and if you were to behave in a certain manner, the way people, it's put out there, that it's like, let me be who I am. If I want to wear what I want to wear and be comfortable, and I feel beautiful in my attire and I feel a bit sexy, I'm not here for you. Right. This is about me. This is about me expressing myself. This is about me embracing my beauty and my awesomeness just the way I am.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not here to appease you. I mean, if my energy brings you light, appreciate that and respect that, but don't try to exploit that.
Right.
You know,
that's not your goal. Is not to make somebody else happy. Your goal is for you.
Right.
And there's like the thing we were talking about, the smile thing.
Yeah.
It ain't that bad. Smile, baby.
Smile, baby.
Like, no,
Right.
You fucking smile. Maybe I don't feel like smiling. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in deep thought. I'm seriously contemplating some things I have going on in my life right
Yeah.
now. I am focused. This is my focus phase. Maybe I don't feel like smiling.
And my physical self is not put on this earth for you to necessarily enjoy. If you get enjoyment from it, I'm happy for you. Good for you.
Right.
Okay. But
Whoop-de-whoop.
I have no obligation to make some stranger on the street feel good about themselves. Not at my own expense like that.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And there's a difference between giving someone a compliment and then, like, if you appreciate that compliment, you say thank you. And then if the guy keeps going with it, it's like, all right, like, I appreciate that you think I'm beautiful today, but keep it moving. Like, I said thank you. That was the situation at hand, and we keep it moving. Just
I
how.
have a confession to make.
Yeah.
After my last child, I was thick. What you call thick, like PHAT, thick. And they nicknamed me Fatty Pool, my girlfriends. And that's when I was in the phase of, you know, you evolve. But back then we was like, if we were dressed and like we put our clothes and we look nice to one another, we like, yes, bitch. Like, look at my bitch. That's what we refer to each other as.
Sure.
But we've evolved, and everyone that I associate with that used to say those things basically doesn't say that. We address each other with respect, because the bitch thing is so fucking old. I mean, it's in the misogynistic music. I mean, it's just so much disrespect and just so much demeaning and denigration of women.
And it also gives a pass for men to say it as well.
Yeah, it gives them a pass. Like, we all call each other bitches, so what the fuck you got a problem with me saying bitch for?
Yeah. Do you identify as a woman? No, then you ain't no bitch.
Exactly. I have a bitch at home. She's a 4-month-old Connie Corso puppy. And she's a bad bitch.
I got Layla my Doberman at home.
Our friends refer to ourselves as sisters, goddess, queen, empress, divine reflection. That's what I refer to women as. Co-creator. Unless you really piss me the fuck off, I'm not gonna come out my mouth and call you a bitch.
That's not your place.
Yeah.
Like, that's not your. You don't
Because
have
it's
the
an
right
insult.
to. It's not your right to insult someone.
Even
then.
if we try to. Even if we try to transliterate that word and try to make it into something other than that, it is still such a term of disrespect.
Yeah. The roots of it are ugly.
Very, very ugly. So what kind of salute, like, does it just started calling men out for their actions, or how can it go how can it go farther than that? You know what I mean? For us to learn
themselves out.
Yeah. You know, us calling ourselves out. But you know, a lot of men aren't going to do that. These, especially now, especially if the severity of the situation, they're going to keep that a secret. You know what I mean?
Men who have daughters, they should be mindful and cognizant of the fact that those daughters are going to grow up, and if the daughters' moms were beautiful, then their daughters will most likely be beautiful. Now, them daughters will have to deal with the very same men, and like yourself, and like, not saying you per se, Shep, but they will have to deal with men who you associate with, and men who you know are like this, are overtly aggressive and forward with women, and hyper masculine with women, and in how they interact with women. So, that being said, you would want to conduct yourself in a manner that your daughter is witnessing you treating a woman with respect, because you would want somebody to treat your little girl with respect, because she's going to grow breast, she's going to develop a figure, and you don't want some entitled man treating your daughter a certain way, or because she rejects his advances or his company in her space, for that man to disrespect your daughter. You're gonna want to take out a shotgun.
Yeah.
You're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
When your karma come knocking on your front door.
Yeah.
So check your bullshit.
Check your bullshit. I love that.
A lot of it is about recognizing that women are humans too, and
humans.
We're goddesses.
We gave birth to humans.
But that's the thing. There are a lot of men, even if it's subconscious, they don't recognize women as being humans. They recognize them as being the object of their
subjects.
or whatever, like, oh, women are only here because they're nice to look at, because they can have babies. Like, they're not really on the same level as men, the real humans.
I'm sorry, they got it twisted. That's what they think.
They absolutely do.
Because we can do all of that and then some.
Yeah.
Of course we can, but men aren't necessarily recognizing that, and that's why they're justifying abuse against women, stalking women, like paying us less. I think that's where it starts, is one, women recognizing that they're beautiful entities, they're beautiful spirits, they're beautiful humans. Mothers and fathers teaching their daughters that they are beautiful women, like beautiful human beings.
Yeah.
Men referring to other men in relation to women as human beings, and oh, not some bitch, or like, oh, that was some fine pussy. Like, no, that's a person.
Yeah.
That's a person with like thoughts and past lives and like feelings and an entire existence that is completely independent of any other person around them.
Right, a creative entity.
Yeah, like you need to recognize that every single human is human.
Yeah.
So when you do that, then you're going to think twice before you refer to a person as not human. Before you reduce them down to, oh, well, that female. I hate that term. I hate it when people
females.
I hate that.
Females refer to any species with a vagina.
And
I'm not a fucking female.
No,
I'm
you're
not
a female human,
I
but
know
you're a
what you
woman.
mean.
Yeah,
I'm not a female.
Yeah.
No,
I am
I'm
a
not.
woman.
Exactly.
WOMB. M-A-N. Yes, that's what I subscribe to be. That's what I am. I have given birth. I have a womb. I am a woman.
Yep.
I'm not cisgender or any of that stuff. I am a fucking woman. That's what I am. But that's not the only thing that I am. I'm a woman and so much more.
Yep.
Now, I have a question. That term cisgender, I'm not familiar with that. What is that? Tell me about that.
Cisgender just means that you identify and kind of prescribe to gender norms. So,
If you were born a woman with a vagina, uterus, ovaries, then you're cisgender.
Pretty much, yeah. And
that's
if you,
the language that's being used.
Yeah. So like the three of us are pretty cisgender because we're not transgender, or we're not. I don't think we identify as non-binary.
The sex that you.
So you're.
You know what? I'm gonna just leave that alone because.
It can get real complicated, yeah. But cis basically means like you present as the gender that you
fall to
born
those
as.
gender norms.
Kind
So if
of,
you're like,
yeah.
you're a man, they're gonna expect you know, if you were born a man, you're that person's father or mother is gonna expect you to play football or
something like that. Like it's a cis
not cry or things like that. You
yeah,
know?
so a lot of it can be kind of oppressive, but like it's that you fall within certain gender parameters.
Yeah. That's a good because I'm like I've always looked and I'm like, what does that mean? I didn't know if it was just like me being a heterosexual male or to have more to deal with that. You know what I mean?
It's a term that's come to light in the last few years, which is good, and it's just another way of communicating with each other, which is always important. You know.
I think a good idea would, and I was just thinking about this while you guys were talking not too long ago. That maybe if we could maybe teach them that, even by putting on some type of, I guess, event. Some type of like talk or something like that where we, you can bring someone in to really like educate men on this topic. You think that would be an effective way to do that?
I mean, the only way I think that's going to be productive is if you have men that are already open-minded.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thinks that they're the
That's where it
bad guy,
starts.
Like
Yeah.
nobody thinks that they're in the wrong. So you can't go to someone and be like, hey, by the way, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You have to show them why they're wrong. But for them to even be willing to go into an environment where they're going to be shown how they're wrong, they have to be open to the idea that, hey, maybe my thinking isn't correct. So if you're finding people that are kind of questioning, like, hey, maybe I could be doing better, like I'm not really educated in it, maybe I should seek out an alternative perspective to my own, that's really helpful, but you got to find people that are open-minded like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many different ways that you can go about that, whether it's, bringing them to an event, whether it's showing them a movie that puts it in a different perspective. Like still in a man's perspective, but in a man's perspective that they can relate to, and also say like, oh, like I didn't realize all of these things happened, and maybe open up their mind that way. But I think at the end of the day, it does take time. and you have to have at least some sort of open-mindedness in the beginning to even start that, to make that person even realize something. And at the end of the day, the people that don't end up realizing those things sometimes end up realizing the hard way, and they have to be embarrassed, and they have to,
That's what it takes sometimes, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what it takes.
So.
What, I mean, like I said before, and thank you so much.
Ooh, I didn't even know they had
cool.
those.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one in my backpack always.
Oh,
and then I have one in
a little phone stand. But say hi to Facebook.
What's up, baby? Before you go on, we do have 30 seconds, so we're going to go back to commercial break, and then we'll come back, and then we'll start with you, Miss Shawna Devine, okay?
Alrighty.
This is Homegrown Radio. I'm your host, Shepsworth Bentley, and we have 3 beautiful ladies with me, beautiful, intelligent ladies with me. So stick around, and we're going to finish this up.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait. Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is. Because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and Black life.
Police are not occupying armies. This is America, not a war zone. I speak today with full knowledge that I have not personally experienced and can never truly understand the fear, the oppression, and the pain that confronts African Americans every day.
Don't you just want to kill yourself? I mean, not from...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
What's going on, Baltimore and America and the world, if the world is watching? I'm your host, Shepsworth Bentley. We have Miss Tatiana from Real Lady Shit. We have Confetti the First, awesome EDM house DJ, and we have the talented Shawna Devine in the house, where we're going to be wrapping this up. Now, Shawna, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize for that. What were you? We can start with what you were talking about.
Oh crap!
Yeah, no. Right? I'm sitting there like, let me try to remember. I mean,
we talked about toxic masculinity. We talked about. We were talking about gender. And it started with us talking about females being referred to, women being referred to as females. That is not okay, because, like I said, a female is any species of creature that walks upon this earth. So no, you will not refer to me in the same category as an animal or Yeah, no.
It's under my skin so much.
It sticks in my
Hate
freaking
it.
craw.
I'm not gonna lie. I
don't like it.
I'm like learning to stop that right now. And
Females
I've said it
females.
recently too, and to me it just now these days it just doesn't sound genuine.
You know why? Because it strips that woman of her humanity.
Yeah, it completely
Right?
strips you of your humanity and dignity, and it relegates you to not being human and not
my
being
dog is a female,
of value.
But she eats cat shit. So
my dog is a female and she eats her own shit.
Yeah.
Cropophagia.
Yeah.
Cropophagia?
That's what it's called. Cropophagia.
Wow.
Ingesting feces.
The more you know.
I am so far beyond anyone. I mean, some people, that's what they like. I guess there's this thing about eating something like groceries, but whatever.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Whoa, that's gonna be for another topic, man. Whoa.
Cropophagia. Yeah.
All right.
Look it up.
Like groceries, guys.
Please don't make me.
It's disgusting. Dogs actually do that to try to protect their.
It hides their scent or something.
Yeah, they
right?
protect the pack.
Yeah.
The moms do that when the puppies. Yeah, so.
But you know the difference.
Yeah.
They're not humans.
They're not humans.
Right.
They're females.
They're females.
They're female dogs.
I'm
They're
a woman,
bitches.
You're a
I'm
woman. You're a woman. You're a man.
Yes.
All right. Well, cropophagia. New word today. I'm glad we got to finish this up. Do you have anything, any type of solutions, any type of anything you want to get off your chest at this point before we start wrapping up or anything, or any facts, opinions?
I would like to drop a fact. So P.S. to all men out there, if
Listen
you
up.
know, you listen to women talk about how they feel about these things and you're just like, well, where are the facts? Like, what's going on? Well, just as an aside, out of every 1,000 rapists that get convicted, not get convicted, but get accused of rape, 994 of those men go free through the entire process. So it shows you that there is no change even in how the government handles this. So for us to, make a bigger change is we also need to attack the government in this way and say, look, the way you're handling this, and I don't know what's going on with each judge or whether this is coming from another power segment, which it most likely is, because a lot of these judges, do some also not really great things. But, I think coming after the government is kind of another way that we can handle this and, take the next step into opening these people's eyes.
That's a good point. Because and you were talking about the government. We actually had a few big wins as far as local government and not in the city, but in the country. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of women, transgender women as well, that are in these seats of power now, where they can make a difference. And I think that's another way.
Use your power.
Use your power if you have that power.
Utilize it to make a difference.
Use your
platform. Speak out about it. Hold your colleagues and your peers accountable. I think that men should understand. I think that everybody should understand, as far as sexual abuse, sexual assault, and rape, sexual abuse, and sexual assault is not the fault of the victim.
Never. Yeah.
Rape
Never, ever,
is the fault of the rapist. Sexual assault is the fault of the person who is the assaulter, the assailant. Plain and simple.
Point blank period, guys. I'm very happy that that has happened in our small government, but that's where it starts. You know what I mean? That's where it starts, and it's gonna grow from there. And I got really happy. You know what I mean? I'm seeing, these people won, this person won. I'm like, yes, yes, a step ahead in our direction. You know what I mean?
Thank goodness we need it.
I appreciate those women. I appreciate you ladies for speaking up, and make sure you call every man out. Make sure you call every man and whatever cisgender man out. You know what I mean? Make sure we all need to change. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Change your thinking. The way that you evolve and the way that you revolutionize is through your mentality. Every act and every small behavior, every step you take forward away from antiquated thinking and antiquated notions that you hold about women in society is part of the revolution. It's necessary, it's essential. You have to change your thinking. You have to change your thinking about your mothers. You have to change your thinking about your sister's friends. You have to change. They're not potential conquests. These are human beings. They are living entities with, that are making viable contributions to society, that are hard workers, that have overcome struggles, that have given birth maybe or maybe not. But women give birth every single day to ideas, to creation, to possibilities. And that should be honored and respected. I mean, stop the disrespect. Check yourself, brother. Black men, protect the sisters. Love and honor the sisters. Stop the demeaning. Me being a entity living in this melanin flesh, we have become the brunt of society and the butt of jokes. We have men that make a living off of imitating and perpetuating stereotypes all over Instagram and Facebook, and I don't think it's fucking funny. You're not funny. It's not funny.
No, it's a step in the wrong direction.
It's a step in the wrong direction, and it's backwards thinking.
It's definitely going to keep our thinking antiquated.
And it's just going to keep on perpetuating those thinking modalities that this is okay to be disrespectful. It's okay that when women have emotional issues, it's something to be made jest of, something to be made light of. And a lot of women suffer from mental health issues or maybe hormonal conditions. That's not an excuse for any type of overt or unseemly behavior or anything like that. But it may be an explanation. And if you're constantly being shitted on, you're gonna act a certain way sometimes. I mean, really.
Because you have to survive.
You have to survive, and I mean, no one wants to live in survival mode because you can't progress and evolve living in survival mode. You can't do that. That's a lower vibrating way of being, so you don't want to do that. We don't want to have to be forced into, have our backs against the wall and always be surviving. We want to be light, we want to be love, we want to be all those things that are femininity and that are beautiful about being a woman other than physical appearance. Our brains, our thought processes, everything, those things should be looked at and valued and appreciated, not just physicality. That's so shallow, so lame.
You are absolutely right. And remember this, man. Remember what she's saying and these ladies are saying, because it's important for you guys to change. It's important for you guys to listen to this now and unlearn all this stuff that you've learned, that your parents, or not your parents, but your dad has probably taught you, and your male friends have probably taught you over the years.
Well, the mothers have probably been taught this by their fathers too. I mean, it's a problem on both ends. The men are enforcing it and the women are not fighting it. But we have evolved so much as a species that we don't have any natural predators. We're not cavemen anymore. We don't have to worry about surviving the same way that we did, thousands of years ago. So why don't we allow ourselves to be emotional creatures? Why don't we allow ourselves to grow as a species? And we can only do that if we're going to do it together.
So, time flies, by the way. 7:59. I'm thinking we're going to keep talking. We're about to make this a 2-hour show, by the way. But we're about to wrap it up. Ladies, I just want to thank you again for coming in and speaking your mind. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to have you all back on the show at some point in the near future. Thank you. Follow Real Lady Shit on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow Confetti the First. Follow Shawna Divine, and follow me at Homegrown Baltimore. I am your host, Shepsworth Bentley. This is Homegrown Radio. We out.
Good night.
Good night.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
If you had a dream